High and away. But it caught the letters. Strike one. Yankees have beaten the Royals 5-0. Behind Charlie Hudson, who's 3-0. Now it's 0-2. Other American League Finals, Cleveland over Baltimore 3-0 as Joe Carter hit a homer to back Swindell, who beat McGregor. By the way, Charlie Leibrandt was the loser in that Royals loss. And the White Sox beat the Tigers 7-2 as Petrie beat Bannister. Larry Herndon hit a homer for the Tigers today. Fly ball center field. Otoby has plenty of room. One down. Greg Walker, Carlton Fisk, and Greg Hewlett all had homers in that game besides Herndon. We also have a final from Toronto where the Red Sox have just knocked off the Blue Jays 4-1. Nipper is 2-0. Joe Johnson, the loser. Bell had a homer for the Blue Jays, and Wade Boggs one for Boston. Those are the American League Finals. As B.J. Surhoff, who's grounded out to second twice, takes ball one. Minnesota at California later. Portugal against Joe Johnson. Sutton against Coloroli as Oakland plays at Seattle later. And they're underway in the second game of a doubleheader at Baltimore with the Orioles leading the Indians 2-0. Necro throwing for the Tribe. And the Royals have not scored in the first inning of their nightcap at New York against the Yankees. That's the American League. Right field, Ruben Sierra coming on. No, he trapped it. It'll be a base hit for Surhoff.
Well, it looked from our vantage point, Bob, that Ruben was able to get his glove underneath that ball before it was bounding off the turf. Bobby Valentine, though, on the top step taking a look. Got the glove down there. Oh, I don't know. That looks like he made the catch. Yeah. I don't believe that was a short hop. I think he got the glove underneath the ball, between the ball and the turf.
Looks like it.
Sure looks like it from there, doesn't it?
Yep. That's why those outfielders wear those big meat hooks. Here's Gantner. He's 1 for 1 with a double and a walk. Oh, look out. You don't want to hit anybody here because that puts the tying run at the plate. You don't want to hit anybody anytime, but especially not now. And Mitch really rocked Greg Brock with an inside fastball yesterday. 2-0. Activity in the Ranger bullpen. At the letters. Seventh inning. It's getting late for the Brewers, who are trying to make American League history with a season opening 12 wins today. Out of play, 2-2. Dale Mahorsik is watching as Greg Harris behind him is doing most of the throwing. Harris has been throwing for the last couple of minutes. Might be two. Brown to Fletcher. Quick pivot, nicely done. Very good double play by the Rangers there. 12th of the year, and the 7th is over for the Brewers. Score it 4-6-3. On to the 8th. Sierra to lead off. Rangers lead by 3. Steve Busby, you pitchers appreciate a double play like this.
This is as well as that can be executed. The ball not hit all that sharply by a left-handed hitter who runs pretty well, Gantner. Jerry Brown got the ball out of his glove very quickly, gave Scott Fletcher a throw he could handle just about letter high, and Fletcher unloaded it very quickly with Surhoff really bearing down on him. That is an outstanding 4-6-3 double play.
And it got the Rangers out of the 7th and into the 8th, where it's now Bosio against Williams. Pitchers of record are the starters. Sierra to lead off. Rubin swung the bat pretty well today, except for the last time when he was called on strikes, but a couple of base hits before that, both well hit, especially the second one. Like to see this kid really get hot now. You know, that number 5 position, Buzz, is so crucial because as Pete Incaviglia gets hotter, he'll see less and less to hit unless somebody behind him is doing the job. 0-2. Big hop for Gentner. Rubin makes them all close, and he's 2 for 4.
Well, Gantner's going to have to learn that he cannot lay back on a high chopper like that off Sierra's bat, because that was a bang play at first base.
Another thing about that double play ball in the 7th, that will mean Molitor will not lead off the 8th. They'll have to go number 9, Dale Swaim, first. Not that he's a slouch coming in batting .410, but the extra dimension of Molitor's speed is what concerns you. Larry Parrish is 0 for 3. He's popped up, grounded into a double play, and been called out on strikes. But all the good power hitters, they can go 0 for 3 and look bad and then put one 400 feet somewhere. LP with 2 homers, 3 RBIs, batting .205. That was about a 58-footer from Bazio, who hails from Carmichael, California, lives in Rancho Cordova. Sounds like something you'd drive. 2-2. Rangers started the day 6.5 back of the California Angels. Just one immediate goal right now, and that's to get a W coming home. Orioles, by the way, just placed Lee Lacy on the disabled list in the last 24 hours. They'll come to town on Tuesday. Breaking ball, and Larry had to almost let go of the bat. Bazio has retired 3 in a row, 2 of them on strikes. And the hitter will be Don Slott with 2 outs and the bases empty here in the 8th. Rangers are 1-6 on the road. That could change here today. Well, it will change, but you'd like it to change to 2-6. The problem is that 0-3 at home against this Milwaukee club, and with Baltimore coming in, maybe Texas can take care of that as well. 11 hits for the Rangers today to 6 for the Brewers. Texas out hit Milwaukee 8-5 yesterday in losing 4-3. Rangers stranded 7 runners in that game. Today they've left 4. Milwaukee has stranded but 3 through 7. Don Slott is 1 for 3 today. Bobby Valentine was quoted in the paper here this morning as saying he wasn't that impressed by the Brewers, which raised a few eyebrows. But he did acknowledge that they are doing the little things needed to win. Advancing runners, making the defensive plays. Bazio has now struck out 3 of the 4 hitters he faced. And so we go to the middle of the 8th inning. Mitch Williams. Brewer fans know time is running out on their quest for history. They're excited as Dale Swaim comes to the plate to lead off the 8th. He's 0 for 2. Facing a left-hander for the first time. Mitch Williams trying to nail it down for Jose Guzman, who pitched pretty well here today. Inside corner at the letters.
Well, you'd really like to see Mitch Williams have a good inning here so that he would remain in the ball game and, if necessary, face Brock and Cooper, the two left-handers, back to back. Be very important if you get that far. But obviously with a 3-run lead, you've got to protect that. And if Mitch runs into a problem, and no problem there.
Yeah, and the key thing is throw strikes, young man.
That's it.
And he did. That's his first strikeout.
No secret there. Good fastball right down the pipe, and Swaim had to turn it up about 3 notches and was still a little tardy.
Yes. Molitor 0 for 3. Came in hitting .391. Yes. Molitor, a leadoff man, came in number 7 in the league in slugging percentage, with a lot of extra base hits, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs. By now, Charlie Huff has been enjoying the sunshine today, and if you ask Charlie right now, I think he'd also say he's enjoyed watching the young Ranger pitchers work, Guzman and Williams.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mitch Williams heated up Paul Molitor pretty well that time. Just 3 at about 94, 95 miles an hour right on by him.
And here's Yount, who's 1 for 3, and he's behind in the count. This is the way to do it. Williams works off the stretch even with no runners aboard. A lot of the relievers do that these days. Little purpose pitch high and in.
No sense letting the hitter get too comfortable at the plate.
Robin Yount is in his 14th major league season at the age of 32. In fact, he's not even 32 yet. Won't be until September. Had a good year last year, 312. He had a good average. Rob Deere had good power, but that was about it as far as the Brewers offensively. I think Deere was the only guy on this team who hit more than 16 home runs and drove in more than 75. 3-2. And your on deck hitter is a powerful right-hander as well, Glenn Braggs. Williams throws a strike and he struck out the side. On to the 9th. Rangers 4-1 with Steve Buechele to lead it off when we come back to Milwaukee. 6'4" right-hander Mark Clear is the new Milwaukee pitcher here in the 9th inning.
You talk about a pair of right-handers between Clear and Bosio that can rush it up to the plate and have outstanding breaking balls. Mark Clear, one of the best in the league for many years, battling injury problems, and there has been some question as to his health. Brewers are certainly hoping for their sakes that they can get both of those two right-handers going in tandem and switch them off from one day to the next.
So before Buechele steps in, let's pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is the Texas Rangers Baseball Network. Buechele is 1 for 3 today. Steve had a big RBI base hit that got things started back in the 2nd inning. No telling what would have happened had Buechele not delivered with 2 outs and 2 on to give the Rangers a lead they've never relinquished. Out to the grass goes Gentner. Mark Clear, 16 saves for the Brewers last year. Stepping in, Jerry Brown, who's grounded out 3 times. Clear's best save total at Boston was 14 in '82 when he won 14 games. Brown 0 for 3, but he's played a very good defensive game today. Oh and 2 with 1 out in the 9th. You're wondering about the Milwaukee bottom of the inning? Steve Busby shaking his head no, but I know you are at home. Glenn Braggs, Greg Brock, and Cecil Cooper. Numbers 3, 4, and 5. And if anybody gets on, Rob Deere. You'd love to see Mitch Williams get by that first guy and pitch to a couple of lefties. We will see. 2 and 2. To Brown, batting in the number 9 slot today. Waiting and throwing his swing. Here's one of those let's get something accomplished at bats for Otomi McDowell.
Right.
0 for 3 Buzz, 3 grounders, 1 a bunt, and a strikeout last time.
Yeah, he really has not had a good at bat, with the exception of the first at bat. He dragged a pretty good bunt down the first baseline, but he has not had good swings the last 3 times at bat.
At the letters. Bosio pitched an inning and 2/3, gave up nothing and struck out 3, and now Clear looks pretty tough as well. Milwaukee has a pretty good bullpen.
Hey, Bob, in all fairness to the hitters right now, it's a very difficult time of day to hit here in County Stadium. The shadows, as you see in your picture, just behind home plate, and there is some glare coming off the center field bleachers, either out of the mostly shirt sleeve crowd out there or even off the batter's eye.
2 and 2.
You throw people out there like Bosio and a Clear and a Mitch Williams who really rush the ball to the plate. It's tough to turn it up enough notches to catch up with them.
Breaking ball. Otobi hits at the center. Any other day may be a chance, but not today. A 1-2-3 ninth for Mark Clear and the Brewers. And you'll hear some noise when we come back as Milwaukee has its final chance, trailing the Rangers by 3 big ones. It's been a playoff atmosphere all weekend long here in Milwaukee, with the Brewers winning 11 straight, and now that's in jeopardy as they come to bat in the bottom of the 9th against Mitch Williams, who looks ultra sharp, trailing 4-1 to the Rangers, who've lost 8 in a row, and hopefully will put an end to that streak as well.
Well, if Mitch has an inning like he had in the 8th, he just overmatched the 3 Brewers in the 8th inning, Swain, Molitor, and Yount. And there was no contest there, and he would like to finish this 9th inning off in the same fashion.
Against Glenn Braggs, who's 0 for 3. 2-1. Mitch Williams is looking for his first save of the year. And he's walked the leadoff man. Couple of left-handers now. Greg Harris. We'd probably see him if it got as far as Rob Deere. And a strike to Brock, who's 2 for 3. He's hit the ball hard 3 times today.
Mitch Williams hitting Greg Brock yesterday may have a carryover effect today.
Brown can't reach it. The tying run will come to the plate. And those are Coopers you're hearing for Cecil Cooper. 2 on, nobody out in the ninth.
Part of the problem the Rangers had on that was having to have Brown and Fletcher play at double play depth up just a bit. They were not able to shade Greg Brock around as far to the right field side as they had before in the game. And that ball able to sneak by Jerry Brown, just a matter of 1 step.
Mitch Williams breezed through the 8th inning. He's now struggling in the 9th, and that prompts Ranger shortstop Scott Fletcher to give a word of encouragement. Maybe not a bad idea at this point. 1 ball, no strikes. Unless the Rangers get a double play ball, Rob Deere will also represent the tying run. That one is for Otoby. 1 down. And we'll see if Bobby has Williams take on Deere. Doesn't look like it.
Tough decision right here. The way Mitch has been throwing the ball, forgetting about the walk to Glenn Braggs to start the inning. He, as you say, breezed through the 8th inning.
And it's not like Bobby has an overpowering right-hander in the bullpen, but he will go to Greg Harris.
Percentages, going with the percentages, and Bobby certainly knows them well enough, and it makes sense to do that, but it had to be a tough choice for him to go ahead and go against the way that Mitch Williams was throwing the ball today, because he certainly had a good fastball and just lost the 1-hitter. Glenn Braggs on base on balls. Greg Brock really didn't hit the ball that sharply, kind of got jammed and got it by the drawn in, or the double play depth infield that the Rangers had. Cooper a little fly ball. So certainly a very impressive outing, I think you'd have to say, for Mitch Williams.
In 2 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. And now the final 2 outs are the job of Greg Harris. As Williams pitched well and got things set up here at the end, and we'll see how Harris does against Rob Deere and company.
Harris worked in yesterday's ball game, 2/3 of an inning. No hits, no runs. He did strike out 1. Well, Greg coming on here asked to get the final 2 outs of this ball game and preserve that victory for Jose Guzman and break an 8-game losing scheme for the Rangers.
I think Mitch Williams knows, Buzz, that had he not walked Braggs, he'd still be in there, because as long as the tying run didn't come to the plate, he'd probably be allowed to pitch to Rob Deere, but the walk got him out of there along with the base hit.
He'll probably go back and look at that and kick himself a bit. I would imagine Mitch was a little over anxious trying to overthrow the ball just a bit to get the first hitter of this 9th inning. And while we have a second here, why don't we fill you in on the scores from around the American League today. Cleveland shutting out Baltimore behind Greg Swindell 3-0. McGregor took the loss. Cleveland and Baltimore in the second game 2-2, bottom of the 4th inning. That's Niekro and Dixon. New York shutting out Kansas City 5-0 in the first. They're scoreless in the nightcap of that ball game. That's Gubiza and John.
Rick Manning is the pinch runner at first base for Greg Brock. At second base is Glenn Braggs. Tying run at the plate in Rob Deere. Harris with the breaking ball. I'll say one thing, if Harris puts the breaking ball where he wants to, it'll be tough for Deere to pull it enough to get it out of here on a windy day like today. He's 1 for 3 with a solo homer. Now he's 2 for 4 with a 3-run homer.
Bobby said it correctly. If you put the breaking ball where you want to, and that ball stayed right back over the plate. Rob Deere not going to miss a pitch like that, and he crushed that ball.
It's not over yet, folks. We're not in extra innings yet. Rob Deere knew it was gone, didn't he? One ball, one strike to B.J. Surhoff, who played on the Olympic team with Oddibe McDowell and Bobby Witt. Deere now with 7 home runs and 17 RBIs on the year. 2 outs. A hanging curveball from Greg Harris. Here's Jim Gantner, who's 1 for 2 with a double. The walk came back to be a factor leading off the 9th when Williams walked Glenn Braggs. Two balls, one strike. Williams couldn't close the door, and neither could Harris. 3-1. Gantner's hit 1 home run this year with 6 RBIs. Now what does Bobby Valentine do? There's no one warming up.
Report from the first aid room. Greg Belichick to the first aid room. Thank you.
I hope you have the magic words to go out there and calm down Greg Harris. This crowd of a little over 29,000 really becoming a factor. It's pumping up the Milwaukee Ball Club as if they needed more pumping up than they already have received.
One on, 2 out, bottom of the 9th, tie game. Rangers led 4-0 at one point. Now it's 4-4.
You've got to get Swaim in this spot. You do not want to face Molitor with the opportunity for him to drive in the winning run.
The shadows have crept up now just in front of home plate. Two and 0. The runner is Gentner. Three and 1. Runner going, and it's fouled back to the upper deck. Count is full, and now he'll be going again. A tweener to either gap or one down the line could end the ball game here with the runner on the move. Paul Molitor is the #1 hitter on deck. A walk, a base hit, and a home run by Rob Deere have tied the game here in the 9th. And then Gentner walked. Long one to right. 12 in a row. Steve Busby, the folks at home might think that we're at a loss for words. I just don't know what else you can say. I'm not sure I've ever witnessed anything quite like this.
I don't think I've seen a team that has been able to win so many different ways, whether it be scratching out a run or a big 5-run 9th inning with a 2-run home run, a 3-run home run to come back and win after They really had no momentum at all going into the 9th inning, except for the din you hear here at County Stadium. They have a supreme belief in their ability to win, and the Rangers have to feel, well, snake-bitten, I think, is an understatement.
The Brewers with 5 runs in the 9th on 2 walks, a base hit, and 2 homers. And they beat the Rangers 6-4. They've made American League history with 12 straight opening season wins. And on this swing, the Rangers lost their 9th straight game. Somehow, we'll try to wrap this one up for you in just a moment. Well, I've never heard such a continuous roar during a regular season game in this game of baseball, Steve Busby.
I don't believe these folks believe it's regular season. I think they're talking playoffs, World Series, the whole thing, and this is what capped it off. Dale Swaim, a 3-2 fastball from Greg Harris, a man aboard, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning. Tie ball game, and it's no longer tied. 6-4 Milwaukee victory. You know, tying the record and going ahead and bettering the record today, a chance to tie the all-time record that's set by Atlanta. These folks are thinking about 1984 when the Detroit Tigers got off to that 35-5 start and never looked back. Here's a team that was picked to finish last this year. New manager Tom Trebelhorn. What a way to welcome a new manager to a city, huh?
Clear the winner, Harris the loser, Swaim with the game-winning RBI. They'll try to make it 13 straight tomorrow night at Chicago. The Rangers